Have you ever found yourself in a position where you're really stressed about money, and rather than take some steps to be able to fix the problem, you just end up sliding into avoidance and procrastination, and you know it's not what you're supposed to be doing, and you know you're kind of being a little bit self-sabotaging, but you're not sure what else to do? Well, I have a really practical 3-minute reset that will help you so much. It works not just with your finances, but with any other area of your life that's maybe frightening you right now or just stressing you out. So feel free to apply this to much more than just your finances. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Edens, and I'm so glad you chose to join me today. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't already done so and help support my channel. I put new videos out each and every week about wealth mindset and practical finance tips. And to all my current subscribers, thank you so much for being here and supporting what I'm doing on my channel. It's so nice to see you again. All right, so let's dive into this really practical 3-minute money reset. So the first thing that you want to do is obviously go ahead and get a timer, set a timer on your watch or wherever, but set a timer for 3 minutes. And then the next step is that you write down one money task that's been weighing on your mind the most. You know, maybe the one that's been keeping you up at night, or the one that's been kind of niggling away in the corner of your brain and you only remember it, you know, when you're in the middle of something else and don't have time to deal with it. But just find a way, write it down in your notes, on Notion, you know, a piece of paper, whatever's most convenient for you. But go ahead and jot that down and just get it into black and white and get it out of your head. So for example, that might be check my credit card balances. If you don't have an IRA or a 401k and you haven't started setting aside any money for retirement, it might be research how to set up 401ks. You know, start small. Start with something that feels remotely doable to you and not too overwhelming, because the goal is to get you unstuck. Or it could be start moving $50 every month to savings. So whatever that thing is that you feel like you need to be doing, but you're just feeling so overwhelmed that you've been procrastinating on it, just write it down. The third thing then, once you've written that down, is to break it into the tiniest next step that you can possibly imagine. So if you wrote down research how to open a 401k, then the next step that you want to take right away while that timer is still ticking is you want to go ahead and take the next step of, if you use, you know, AI or if you use Google, you can just go ahead and start doing searches on how to open a 401k. Or if you already have a bank who you use or an investment platform that you're using, you could say, you know, call them up and say, hey, I don't have a 401k yet set up and I'd like to figure out how to do that. Can you walk me through how to do that? Can you maybe help me with that right now while we're on the phone? And so sometimes it's a combination of doing your own research and then reaching out for help, reaching out for assistance from someone else for whom it will not be hard. Because that's the thing to remember, is one person's hell is another person's heaven. So for you, researching retirement accounts might feel like hell, but for someone who is a retirement account manager, they love that. That's how they make their living, and they're more than happy to help people set them up. So just remember that it's very much based on perspective, right, about how we're viewing things. And then fourth and finally is do that micro step right then. So if you have someone on the phone who's willing to go ahead and help you set up that 401k, go ahead and do it. And then you will have checked off that huge box and gotten it all done in 3 minutes or less. The other thing that I find, and I find this particularly when it comes to exercise and fitness, which is an area that I tend to procrastinate around a lot. And then when I get going, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I go for an hour, is once you've done something for 3 minutes and you kind of get into a state of flow where you're focused and you're feeling good, you're getting stuff done, you can go a lot longer than 3 minutes. So it doesn't mean that you have to only do it for 3 minutes, but it's just this little easy steps to be able to get you out of that stuck state, get you out of that procrastination, and just that little boost that you need of telling your brain, I can do this really hard thing for 3 minutes, because anybody can do anything for 3 minutes. So really, really key to just have these steps in place. And let me run through them again, just so you don't have to rewind and rewatch this. You set a timer for 3 minutes. And I'll put this up on screen too so that you can screen grab this if you want to save it somewhere. Then you write down the one money task that's been weighing on you the most. You break it down into the tiniest next step possible, just something that feels manageable for you. And then you do that micro step right then. So let me know in the comments if this is helping you feel a little bit more motivated to tackle something that's maybe a little bit overwhelming for you with your finances. I hope this is helpful. And thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, I wish you abundant wealth, and I will see you again soon.